We have it here with the Corvette Stingray from General Motors. Well, for what it's particularly made for, yes. But later in the video, we will talk a little bit about using it in everyday life. But for the moment, for what it's made for, let's go and have a look. So, does it do the things you really want? Well, in many ways it does. It is a performance car, it sounds beautiful, and of course, it looks just right. The first Corvettes were, of course, front engines with a big long bonnet. We've gone to the more modern style now of the cab forward with a mid-engine configuration. The lines here, these are strong, and when you sit in the car you can certainly see that you're sitting between the two mudguards. But interestingly, there are some strong lines in the front and this jagged edge for the bonnet, which of course opens and provides a little bit of storage. The back comes in very solid and perhaps quite large within the overall design. There's no extra lever to have to search for, and the room in the back is really just for a weekend away, preferably if you don't have to wear pajamas or other things. It's a snug fit, but it's not too claustrophobic. I like that. Now you'll notice a number of things. One is that I have the steering wheel in and up as much as possible and a flat bit at the bottom. That's not how I drive, I'll move it, but the reason is, of course, to make it easy to get in and out. The great thing about it, electronic, bit slow, but it does come out a long way, which is what I like. I just have to remember to do that when I get out to move it back in. It doesn't have that automatic that some do, and this is one car where I think that's important. I don't want to move the seat, but just these things as well. Now, it has a problem. It's got a small screen, that's all right, but it is hard to learn how to do the car without having to start it. You've got to have it running to be able to read the screen. I've got to have it running in order to be able to call up things, which includes learning what's there and how to use it. While the screen is small, so what? Because we've got what many people long for, that they plead to have, and that is buttons to press to control simple things like climate. And this has a unique system of them all the way down here. And in fact, they have different haptic feels to them. These are mine in particular, then these are the general ones, and these are the ones for the passenger. And it has a toggle switch for two that you use so regularly. Put the temperature up or down, put the fan speed up or down. So you're driving along, don't have to look, you can change anything without being distracted. Do you like the interior? It's bold, but perhaps not quite as super rich as some, such as the Lexus, which gives the impression of being, well, looking like what I presume to be the inside of a brothel. And this has these glorious artistic features to it. It almost looks like the steps of American prairie, of rock ledges coming out. And it really does create much more than your traditional, fairly flat type of dashboard. There's one thing about it though. This is very bright, and so it reflects on the windscreen. Now, it's got a head-up display. That's nice and clear, yet you'll feel that the whole of your front is being compromised as though you're looking through a curtain because of the colours reflected on the screen, quite boldly. Here's the other thing. It's got a button here to raise the front, so that if you get to a speed hump or your driveway has a particular steep gutter, it's best to raise the front a little bit. And it has a memory, a geographic memory that you can press to
so that whenever you get home and you're about to go into your driveway, it'll automatically raise. Doesn't raise much, but it's enough. It has cup holders and the usual little compartment. I would recommend that if you have things like your automatic opening garage door and so on, to keep them in here, not in your pocket, because it's a little bit of a tight squeeze to try and grab things.
If you value independent journalism or simply enjoyed the video, please support the channel by hitting like and subscribe.
This first ever mid-engine Corvette comes in several versions. There's the Stingray, the 2LT, costs $182,000 plus on roads in Australia. There's the 3LT at $197,000, to which in both cases you can add another $17,500 to get the convertible. Then there is some higher performance versions, the E-Ray with extra hybrid help at $275,000, and finally the Z06 with a 5.5 litre highly tuned engine comes in at $336,000. The Corvettes have a 6.2 litre V8 engine producing 369 kilowatts and 637 newton meters. There's an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, although you won't see 8th gear until you get to the high speed limits. It'll go from 0 to 100 in about 3.4 seconds. Nearly as good as a Hyundai Ioniq 5N. It has that characteristic that's been used in other exotic sports cars, in that the engine starts with a roar. It does fire the blood, but it's not popular with the neighbours. Inside it has a 12-inch screen. You can select driving modes. That includes racetrack. It has comfort safety features like a rear cross traffic alert, which I like. It has a 14-speaker Bose Performance Series sound system, a wireless mobile device charging, heated and cooled seats. I love cooled seats. And one thing I test quite regularly, the windscreen wipers don't go thump on slow speeds, but a bit intrusive on the higher speed for heavy rain. But there's no lane keep assist, there are no line indicators superimposed on the rear camera image, and the cruise control is not adaptive. I was wrong. I'd read the manual and it had talked about getting the top off with a lot of locks and things, and I couldn't find it, I couldn't work it out. Turns out it is one of those ones that can be done at the touch of a button, as long as you hold it on long enough. Whether you like it or not, people will think that you own the car in order to create a reaction from other people. And there's no doubt that it turns heads. It certainly looks modern, as one young lad from a distance thought it was a McLaren, but you have to put up with comments that may not show a full appreciation of the cost and engineering of the vehicle. One young 5-year-old looked at the car and said, "Is that Hot Wheels?" So we went on Australia Day to a picnic at Fagan Park. Now that's in the northwest of Sydney. It was a huge property way back in the early 1900s, but was donated to the community. The Corvette Stingray is not the vehicle to carry a lot of stuff. If you have something like this, it is too wide to fit into the back of the screen here. But there is wide enough just in the front boot, but this is a bit high, so you've got to squash it down. So you can fit things like bottles in here, but there's a problem. This is just behind the engine,
and it gets rather warm there. So not for the place for carrying cool bottles of wine or ice cream. But if you do have sausage rolls, I could take it for a fang and we could warm them up in the back. But last year I had an F-Type Jaguar, which everyone condemns for its lack of space. It actually has a bit more than this. It doesn't have a lot of room in it. It's a bit clunky around with its dual clutch gearbox around slow speeds in urban areas, but out on the open road, you give it its head and it's a wonderful experience.
Have your own thoughts? We'd love to hear them. Good, bad, or in between. Have a chat with us by dropping a comment below.